for all of you for being here with us for what feels like close to our 250th huddle. It's really a blessing to be here with all of you. You have no idea the anchor that it is for us. As hopeful as we are, this is for you. As when we get to step in here, what up, Jill Collins? Looking forward to having you on the Real Raw. As we step in here with everyone, it gives us an ability to reframe our energies, get into our state. So like to send some love, like to Unblinded, and for all of you on the chat, like what fun are you doing this weekend? Like what's up for fun? What does fun look like for you? What's fun for you this weekend? What's fun for you today? Let's drop some like unicorn cookie and amazing emojis. I'm channeling my inner Nicole, my Ello. Like what's happening in the chat? Let's step into some fun energy. What are you doing for fun this weekend? Like maybe Jason Sipple drawing Pokemon cards with his son. Talk about hashtag dad goals. Yeah, that's fun. We got, let's see what's cooking. Catherine, super, I love you. Cannot wait to communicate with you later today. You are crushing it in the world of ecosystem merging, Catherine Wilson. So thank you for what you're doing. Let me just take a peek in the chat here. Oh my God. Gina says, happy birthday, Joe. And is that Joe Coburn? Because if that's the case, I'm not going to ask the movement to sing because we can do a lot of things together. Singing and choiring is not one of our strengths. Our mastery is rather low. So happy birthday, Joe. Congratulations. Happy birthday to you. Diana Pereira, beach day tomorrow. Loving that. We have Raina ziplining. Like, that's fun. Joe, happy birthday. If it's that Joe. Murder mystery dinner. Oh yeah, birthday lunch. Happy birthday. And camping with the hubby. I hope you enjoy that weekend full of love. You deserve it. And I am proud to see all the yeses that you're acquiring in the world. We have Erica with real estate, Frank Clark fun, beating Joe Hagan in pickleball, even with the sprained ankle. Gugino, look at what you're doing, man. Look at what you're doing. But here, let's just make fun of Frank Clark here for a second. He's the only one that's been injured playing pickleball. So if we're playing like old jokes, just going to leave that one there. We have Ken searching for seashells on the Florida beach this morning with the family. We have Matthew, what is cooking, what is up, Unblinded. Jay Levine is playing soccer with the kids. Ed Green is jumping into a chocolate river. Brother, that Willy Wonka conversation was yesterday. So boom, if you see, it is full of wonder and magic here in the chat. And for you, I believe Adam Gugino, you're on here on the line. Outside of pickleball, and I know I love you, and I'm always poking with your sweatbands and puppies. But how do you step into fun energy in the middle of the day? I'll give an example. When I was asking Sean how I can practice and how I could step into the variance of my fun energy, he took, his Sean breath. He like paused and he said, you know what, Fernando? Every time you feel like laughing, just laugh. Just laugh. And my girlfriend makes fun of me sometimes, Martha, that sometimes I will unmute in like a webinar just to laugh. And I've practiced that. And I've seen a beautiful variance in my energies because of it. So for you, Adam, what is a trigger? What is something you have in place? Like maybe having your boy Fernando screenshot you in your mugshot, reminding you to smile. How do you practice stepping into your fun energy throughout the day? Hey, AG, you're muted out there, by the way. And Sean, I think I hear a rustle in the distance.
You do. What's up, sir?
What's up, man? So actually, you know what, for you, so we can like step into that. How do you step into your fun when like there's like ridiculousness, mountains of yeses, you're making, 4,200 the choices a day, talking to X and Y number of people. How do you, stay Willy Wonka during all that?
Sometimes you feel like closing the doors to the chocolate factory. Sometimes you feel like making sure the garbage chute and the furnace are lit a lot, right? And that certainly happens. And then you go to scroll 7, Agmandino, right? Scroll 7 is I lovingly laugh. I've converted at myself and the world. I lovingly laugh at myself and the world. So that is a portion of how you do it. And you just think of like sort of the humor and ridiculousness of life and things and and just have a little bit of fun. And then step back in and realize that everything's an act of love. Everything's a cry for help. That's what it is. And even if sometimes the cries for help are ones that might be those that can charge, right? You go back and become present to the reality that, yes, everybody's doing the best they can. And the world is a very funny and humorous place, a very funny, humorous place. So, you know what? Let's step into a little bit of fun. So, and I
Sure.
want like hypocrisy is fun for me and funny, right? So we all have like internal inconsistencies of things, right? So I could sit here and say, hey, like, we have to be really healthy, and I'm really not a fan of drinking and, using foreign substances, but I eat sugar, right? So like, yeah, there's like hypocrisy, and other people can be like, yes, I eat, I have a dear friend who eats super healthy, like crazy healthy, and the brother drinks like, I mean, he drinks, vodka like Adam Gugino drinks water on his shower, right? Like, and I'm not judging, but it's just funny. Like, it's just funny, and we joke at each other and laugh about it. So I think we lose fun when there's like blame and judgment, and I'm gonna like lean in. And this is where I probably, have interesting and fun dynamics that could occur because of it. And by the way, TNB had a great question. I want to get to answering it. I want to understand it better. So if TNB is here, please let's unmute her and get ready. So I think getting upset about laughing about things is where things get like really tricky, So and how people and I get the dynamic that there's issues that matter to us a lot, but when we lose our ability to laugh at ourselves, laugh at how serious we are about things, while still taking things seriously, that's when I think things get really weird. Like when we get upset. um, um, Let me say this better. So, for example, the election, right? And we sit and, I love my dad, and my dad is obsessed. I mean, and I would, obsessed is a strong word, intense, bordering on obsession, with how much he can't stand Donald Trump, right? And I go back, and if you trace back our family lineage, um, somebody in, and who my grandma Rose, amazing, one of the most integrous, heart-centered, loving, incredible, wonderful human beings. As much as I love Nani, my mom's mom, I love Grandma Rose every bit as much. We don't talk about it as much, but had like, not my grandparents, Nani and Pop would watch me 2 or 3 days a week. Grandma Rose would watch me 2 or 3 days a week. They were like equal in love and impact, right? It just so happened that Long Beach Island was there, and spent a lot of time, later in life, there with Nani and Pop, as well as in, my early years, and probably wasn't as resonant when I was in Jersey City in my grandma Rose's apartment, and she was watching me, and there was a bullet hole, for example, that came through the window. Like a bullet came through the back window where I used to play, and it was a hole in the wall. I don't think I've told that story yet in the Unblinded ecosystem. So my memories of being with Grandma Rose are super fond, wonderful, and incredible, but they are not as resonant as being in Long Beach Island with Nani and Pop, because it was scary and there was a bullet hole in the window. So like, yeah, there was that. True story, by the way. The Mayflower Hotel that I've explained stories. Some of you heard about my grandfather yelling about at the pimps and the drug dealers. The Mayflower Hotel that Nani and Pop eventually lived next to, that was actually behind Grandma Rose's apartment on Romaine Avenue. This little tiny railroad apartment, which like you walked into the bedroom basically, and that's where I spent a lot of the days during my early childhood. Yes, there was the Mayflower Hotel faced the back, and somebody from the Mayflower had shot a gun and put a hole through the window in Grandma Rose's back room, not in the apartment building, not some other place, literally in the room where we play. There was a bullet hole, like from one day to the next, that came through the window. So yeah, that's maybe one of the reasons I don't quite talk about some of those moments as fondly, even though they were fond and amazing and magical, because they were a lot scarier in other ways, right? Not Grandma Rose, but the environment, right? So Grandma Rose, who's the sweetest, kindest, most loving human you could ever possibly imagine, at least this is how she showed up for me and was so loving. She, going back in the day, I mean, despised Donald Trump. And this is going back into like 1980, 85, back. I don't even remember why he would have been as well known, but like she loved television. and she loved stepping into like what was going on in the world. And I mean, like venom, right? Now, at the same time, I'm not going to name the person, right? To be at all denigrating. There was an NFL football player who she loved, like not loved in a weird way, loved in a authentic, like heroic. He is a king, like amazing example, role model, everything else. And as time would sort of unfold, this person had lots of, interesting habits with alcohol, with women, with dynamics, things that would not resonate at all with things that Grandma Rose valued. Grandma Rose didn't drink a sip of alcohol, right? And I love Grandma Rose. I'm not criticizing her at all. I'm just using it as an example of like this dynamic of putting people through different filters and prisms and making decisions that this person is good, this person is bad, and this is right and this is wrong, and filtering everything that we see about a person through a different prism and filter. And so I think that's funny. And I do it too. And I've done it too. And I think it's funny. And if we could just relax a little bit with ourselves and realize our own internal hypocrisies on a fun Friday, I think life gets a little bit easier. And we stand up on our soapbox and we're righteously indignant, which we all get, including me. I try to now be focused much more about it related to concepts versus people, but I still fall short in my mastery in that way. Absolutely. But it's funny. Like, it's funny, it's funny to sit here and say, hey, it's just wrong to not confront things and say something about somebody and talk about a situation and, not say it in front of them, and then to do it, which of course I've done. Now, we could always say we're trying to do it in less and less, less and less of it at higher and higher levels of mastery. But it's just funny, the ridiculous hypocrisies. And I'll start with the simplest and easiest, that I'm like, very emotional about alcohol. I'm kind of a little bit emotional about coffee, right? And I eat sugar pretty consistently, like that's funny. So on this fun Friday, how can we exhale and just laugh at ourselves? Like, where is your hypocrisy? Where are you really charged about something somebody out there is doing? And where are you maybe not as charged about what you're doing that is super analogous to what you're getting really upset about? Fernando, how about yourself? Do you want to jump in? Where are you internally have some hypocrisy that you can get charged about looking outward and may have neglected to consider inwardly and laugh about it?
I have nothing that's popping for me. If you wouldn't mind just posing the question one more time. When you say hypocrisy, if you could just add a little color for me.
Sure. That you are gauging something outside of you that somebody else does or groups of people are doing, that maybe you could find a way that you yourself are doing something like that and just laugh about it. Like how about this? What are 3 things that get you supercharged about other people? That you just get really charged. I can't believe people do this. I can't believe people say that. I can't believe this about somebody, like without saying specifically who or what group, like what gets you really charged?
Defamation of character gets me exceptionally charged. Misportrayal, which I think is the same thing. Another thing that gets me really charged is my dad's intensity. Like he gets really intense really fast over like a parking spot. So that, I guess,
Okay, right. That would be a fun one. And do you get really intense and really charged about anything?
Yeah, I do. I think I did this morning.
That would be the example, right? Like, and we don't need to get into it, and maybe give one of the sillier examples. Like, so your dad, this is perfect, right? So your dad gets upset about a parking spot, and I'm with you. Like, I'll be in a car of family members, and I will get really frustrated about something that they'll be getting upset about that they can't control, right? And it'll really charge me, and it'll really bother me. But then I'll watch something in the news media and be like so pissed that like Can you believe this? The friggin' media, it's unbelievable. Like in every way, the manipulation, people don't understand the focal illusions that are going, like, so, and I'll be like, oh, that's okay though, because it's more important than a parking spot. Like, who am I to say that that's true?
That's
Right.
true.
And so that's hypocrisy. Right. So, quick example of maybe something silly that you get really supercharged about that you might reframe how you're judging your dad, because you're right. There's some judgment there. Yes.
There is. Yes, there is.
Okay.
And I believe a way that I can reframe that is my dad has the reason why he gets charged is he always literally like together is a big thing for him. So when we don't park next to each other, it's like the end of the world. And this literally happened as we went on a corn maze this weekend, and just if I may, just for some fun and correctly, like we are 12 Hispanic family members going to a corn maze in Pennsylvania. We were the ridiculous outlier. It was a beautiful experience. It was just an amazing time. And he like lost his mind because we illegally like went over a barrier to like not have to wait for parking. Like, so we started there. We like illegally went over a barrier because we didn't want to wait for parking. And then he lost his mind because there was no parking next to each other. And I was like, Dad, we're still here. We're like literally 10 feet apart. It's ridiculous. And I just need to understand his deep desire to just keep us together. So it's not him, being quote unquote intense. It's just his desire to protect the car, be next to each other. And I need to remember just how beautiful that is as he is hitting his 70th year of life. So things like that one day will make me cry. So I want to remember those moments when they get me upset.
Awesome. And where's a place that you get supercharged about something you could reframe right now, kind of like your dad, and being like, what? Like that is outside of your control, right? The parking stuff is outside of his control directly. So something that's out there somewhere that you get supercharged about.
Yeah, it's out there somewhere that I get supercharged about. Okay, the first one that comes to me, because we were just talking about it last night with Adam, is like, well, the call should have been like this. It could have been like that. And it's like, wait, no, it could have been like this. And it's like automatic charge. And it's like, wait, you know what? I wasn't on the call. Adam loves people. He built emotional rapport. He made the right call. I just want to, drive goals and outcomes. And I need to remember that sometimes they just all don't happen that way. So a reframe for me will be, Adam, I know you love people. You do the most optimal job in the most optimal way. And sometimes I've got to take a deep breath and like deal with what's there. So Adam, I love you. And that is going to be my reframe. As last night, I sent him a GIF of like a football player, like stiff arming someone. And I said, this is what I'm doing to your frame right now. And it was rather funny.
There you go. That is absolutely astonishing. So I'll have one more. I talk about self-mastery and the importance of it. And I'm in a beautiful place, in a beautiful location, which I talked about before, with Craig Klingman in the Pacific Ocean on Coronado Island, in this dreamlike place. Like, what do people want to do? They want to be in a beautiful place, surfing, being with somebody who's like-minded, just an amazing, incredible moment. And I am furiously pissed, in big waves, by the way, that I'm not surfing better. And I am completely screwing up the afternoon, carried it into dinner with me. Lorelei can attest to, was there as a witness. I was like super, like, had passed the tipping point of distortion, like dilution of like everything. And I was so irate at myself, right, for leaning back surfing and not leaning in the waves. Like, and that stayed with me for the rest of the night. So, and that's a part of being unblind. If you're new here, like, what are we even talking about? We're talking about is being real, the reality of our suboptimal nature and how we function and do the things that we do, and have them laughing at it, have a little bit of fun on Fun Friday. So, Adam Gugino, any thoughts on this, sir? Because you could be a fairly serious dude sometimes when it comes to some of these issues. So where could you laugh at yourself and your own ridiculousness, Adam? Is Adam there?
He is here. He is muted. Let's give him 2 more seconds. AG going once. Man, I must have stiff-armed him so hard last night.
Adam's for this entire dynamic. I'm kidding. He's definitely not. Now he's going to get even crazier. So let's go with this. We've completed 2 awesome weeks on the 8 a.m. Are there any of the leaders that were on this morning or yesterday that are present? And I want to get to TMB's question. But let's bring up some of these fine folks for a moment that were reading the scrolls this morning or yesterday morning. If you were, raise your hand. Please jump in for a quick minute.
Awesome. TNB is not here for the record, so let's please bring up Frank Clark, Craig B, Deepak, and my apologies if I'm forgetting a name. I'm certain I am. Just raise your hand if you were on the reading scroll list, and let's get you up here. So Craig B, Deepak, they're here. Unblinded team. Let's tag them in. And over to you, Sean.
Sure. I hear beautiful children, so I'm hallucinating that is Craig B.
Yes, it is, Sean. What's going on?
It is Craig V. What's up, brother? That's awesome. So where are you ridiculous? Where are you internally hypocritical? Where are you internally hypocritical, Craig, that you get charged about things out there? You're like, oh, wait, I do that too. So where's that show up for you?
Wow. I feel like it's like life for me in so many spaces. I am my son. My son gets so frustrated when something is uncomfortable to him. Clothes are uncomfortable to him. Shoes are uncomfortable to him. And he just wants to be able to sit around without a shirt on and play his video games.
Okay.
And I'm like, can't we like move forward and like do the things you need to do first, take care of what you need to, and then we'll take that time to sit around without a shirt on and play video games.
So where did that come up for you, sir?
So I also find progressing things in my life that might be considered that I have deemed as uncomfortable or difficult in my life as uncomfortable, and I don't want to do them, and I want to sit around and watch TV
with no shirt on.
You know?
Yeah.
And
that's awesome. Well,
why don't we do the things I need to first?
Yeah. Awesome. And what scroll did you read this week?
I read I will multiply my value 100-fold.
Yes. So that would be scroll number 8.
Number 8, yes.
That is a beautiful
and
thing. Please.
I said yesterday that I felt like it was the same way that you speak about the 6 measurables, the 7 measurables, however many people want to add into there, that people are looking at, and they all lead one into the other, It was the same thing with the scrolls, since you have introduced them into my life. And it's always one leading into the other, and they build upon each other to create something great. And Jay Levine said it amazing today about how it's as if the scrolls are the what of what you want to do in life, and the formula is like the how, and everything just sort of leads into it. And I appreciate Jay so much for that distinction, because that's something I'm going to focus on with it as well. So thank you.
Absolutely. An incredible work of Agmandino. And if you've never read The Greatest Salesman in the World, I'm not the biggest fan of recommending books to people at this juncture, because we have to keep rolling, forward, taking massive action. But that is absolutely a mind-boggling work by Agmandino. It's really short as well. So it's wildly short, efficient, and deeply powerful. And great job, Joe Hagan, everybody rocking it this week. Do we have Mr. Orange Frank Clark with us? Out there, or Deepak?
Mr. Orange.
Yep. Yeah, I'm here. What's going on, man?
Hey,
Deepak.
Hey, Deepak. So, quick question. Where does your own internal hypocrisy show up? So you might hate scroll number 7 and laugh at yourself and the world.
I'm sitting here, my daughter's in front of me, and so is our brand new puppy. So this puppy is so beautiful. She's brought a lot of love and light. But every once in a while, she'll go poo-poo on the floor, and then like the whole house loses their mind on, when did you last take her out? Who took her out? Who took her out? I don't want to clean this. Who's gonna get the rug cleaner? Who's gonna clean all this stuff up? And I'm just like, why can't people just follow a schedule? Like, just put it on the calendar and just time block it and just get it done.
And then you look at your time blocking and you find,
and I look at my time blocking and I'm like, oh snap.
So quick footnote, 'cause I don't speak into this much at all, if at all. So my children's dog is named Winston after Winston Churchill. I think I mentioned this on a Real Raw recently. And yes, my son Tyler, when he was like 9 or 10, named Winston, the dog, after Winston Churchill, which is its own level 5. Listen to that one, that you have a 10-year-old who is naming a dog after Winston Churchill. So that's its own interestingness. And so Winston is 10. And I always think, not always, often think about things, and I'm quite sentimental, nostalgic. Those things are very present for me. So when Winston first came into the lives of my children, myself, their mom, I thought, when Tyler and Courtney are in college, Winston's going to be 10, when Courtney gets to college, and he's a Basset Hound. And, the life expectancy of Basset Hounds, isn't much beyond that, probably right around that. It's like, wow, like that's going to be really, really hard. And I remember thinking that 10 years ago. So Tyler's a junior, Courtney's a freshman, Emma's a senior in high school, and Winston is 10. And Winston just had to go in he couldn't walk earlier this week. And so I was very deeply impacted emotionally by it. And it was a really scary time. And so I also was interested and curious that the fact that medical bills for animals, I think, provided you have insurance, if a human being has insurance, medical bills for animals are about 10 times as much as they are for humans. As a quick footnote, especially at a top animal hospital and, with MRIs and all these things. And, I really had this sense of like thinking that this is it, and it was, it was present. And so on Fun Friday, when he had an ear infection. He had lost some of his balance. So the reason he was having trouble walking, he had a real deep inner ear infection. And while things are not all better yet, they appear that they are very much in the mend. So yay, Winston, you brought that present for me, Deepak, and talking about your beautiful puppy. And I wish you all the blessings and the best, because as you know, that I know, we all know, as they said in the movie with Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman, the title of which I forget, but it was about life. And they're like, it's like smoke through a keyhole. Jack Nicholson said, like smoke through a keyhole. And it all goes so fast. The magic goes so fast. The days go so fast. The building of things goes so fast. And we're going to get, like, the next month is going to pass like this. 6 months like this. A year like this. 5 years like this.
Yeah.
Where are we going to be? And how can we laugh to keep ourselves in zone action on the way? So Deepak, what scroll did you read? Any final from you, brother, on the impact of the reading of the scrolls over the last 2 weeks?
Scroll number 9, I will act now, which kind of ties into the time blocking. Yeah. It's the whole week has just been awesome. Just kind of like a guiding light, like all the stuff that we've read, like we've all heard 1,000 times. But I think it's, Joe said it best. It's like, once you get those things ingrained into your nervous system and you just make it part of you, then we all have the tools to execute. We just got to do it.
Absolutely. And and it's not ironic, because the bottleneck, the challenges, the dynamics, and the blessings of where things are right now. I'm reading David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. And I mean, the things that man can help reframe are extraordinary in self-mastery. And again, I'll keep bringing pieces and excerpts. I am confident that we'll have David on the Real Raw at some point, honor and acknowledge his extraordinary life and his unique perspectives on how to deal with some of the things he dealt with, which were just unspeakably insane. Societally, in his home, I mean, crazy stuff. So on this Fun Friday, right? If we can't laugh at ourselves, then we're going to have some pain. Not judging it, not blaming anybody, but if we can't laugh at ourselves, and here's a fun little challenge. No matter who you want, we want to make the world a greater place, we want to bring more unity, try this one on for size today. No matter who you want to win for president, including if it's like a third-party candidate, take the candidate that you like the least or are most intensely charged by, And today, find what that person does that you do. What does that person do that you do? The exact things that you accuse that person of doing. How do you do those very same things? Exactly. And if you can't find any, then you got some work to do. You got some work to do. Because every single thing that we get intensely charged about that we see in another person can be analogized to some of our own behavior. So let's find a little bit of humor. Let's laugh at ourselves a little bit. Let's find some empathy. And let's truly step into what we say here is that we're going to make the world a greater place. I love all of you. I'm super thankful on this Fun Friday. And by the way, let's end it with this. We are now calling Richard Martin 300. That's his new name. Hey, what's up, 300? Because Richard Martin just bench pressed 300 pounds, which is an extraordinary accomplishment. And for those that are not clear on what that means, it is super rarefied territory that takes an unbelievable level of commitment, intensity, and passion, enthusiasm, the ability to avoid getting hurt, a million different things. And I had the unique privilege of stepping into that club in college. And it was quite the journey. And so, Richard, congratulations. You are extraordinary. I know that was not nothing. And especially that your max went up like 30 pounds in a relatively short period at that high level is wild to think about. So 300, and let's laugh at ourselves because, and Richard, I'd offer you this, what would happen if the same consistency, intensity, and focus that you applied to benching 300 pounds showed up everywhere in your life, and we all had where Richard was in bench pressing 300 pounds show up in all the areas of our life and the ones that we are consciously imbalanced at focusing on right now. Love all of you. Let's laugh at ourselves. By 9:30, find a way to hysterically laugh at yourself, particularly seeing how you might just be a lot like Joe Biden, or you might just be a lot like Donald Trump. And it may be something that's not fun to think about at first, but become really funny really quickly as you lean into it. Love you guys.